Hello, I'm Dr. Rishi Gupta. I'm a research fellow at the Asia Society Policy Institute in New Delhi. As we know, Pakistan recently held its National Assembly elections on 8th Feb amidst looming political instability, and the new government is going to take charge on 2nd of March. Two key observations from the elections. One, there is no denying that there was an Imran Khan phenomena, though he is in jail. And the two, electoral rigging, which has raised concerns about the degradation of democracy in Pakistan. While the new government has a task of addressing the economic instability, there is also the task of improving ties with India. To discuss these political developments in Pakistan and their implications for India, I am joined by my colleague and a senior fellow at the Asia Society Policy Institute in Delhi, Professor C. Raja Mohan. Welcome to the Asia Society Policy Institute interview, Professor Raja Mohan.
Thank you. Thank you, Rishi. It's glad to be here.
What factors do you see contributed to the unexpected election results in Pakistan, particularly with the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party-backed candidates winning huge?
Look, I think it's quite interesting that it was both, the result is both expected and unexpected. In some sense, it was quite clear, both before the elections, during the elections, that the army was not going to let Imran Khan win, and that their focus would be find whatever means to limit his influence after the election, both by putting a range of criminal cases against him, and as well as denying the party's symbol for the Tehreek-e-Insaf, and allegations of rigging in the actual polling process. Yet, I think the PTI-backed independents won the largest number of seats. But then in Pakistan, the elections are only one part. I think there's also the question of selection. Given the conflict between Imran Khan and the army that has built up over the last 3-4 years, there was no question that he'll be allowed to form the government. So strangely, what you have is, after the election, you have the same coalition that is taking charge, a coalition of Muslim League Nawaz, Noon, and People's Party. In a way, this was the government that existed before the elections. So the army has stitched together the coalition, and they're going to keep Imran Khan out in whatever form they can. But I think here is the problem. I mean, that Imran Khan is too popular, that he has a huge, support among the younger people of Pakistan, and they would not see the present government, which is going to be sworn in on March 2nd, as legitimate or credible. So how does the army manage this? How does the political coalition of PPP and PMLN win back some confidence of the people, because the popular support is with Imran Khan, but the establishment support is with this coalition. So I think we're going to see this contradiction play itself out in the coming months.
Professor Rajamohan, you did mention about the selection process. We did see during elections that Nawaz Sharif was brought to Pakistan, and he was a potential candidate to become the next prime minister. But what suddenly changed that he withdrew from the post?
Look, I think that in fact it's much of the way the Pakistan army has removed Imran Khan and brought a whole range of cases against him. The same technique was used against Nawaz Sharif in 2017 when he was ousted from power, put in jail. He was not even allowed to meet his dying wife in London. So he had a terrible way in which a prime minister was treated, probably one of the worst that we've seen in recent decades. So I think as the contradiction between army and PTI became strong, army decided to bring back Nawaz Sharif, because as being one of the more popular leaders in Punjab, and the fact that he being back in Pakistan would help dent the influence of Imran Khan. But the establishment also does not fully trust Nawaz Sharif, because in the last 3 times he was the prime minister, he always ended up fighting with the Pakistan army. So therefore, they don't want to give him a free hand. So what they've done is really focus on his brother, and so that who's known to be much less confrontational vis-a-vis the establishment. So therefore, their preferred candidate was Shahbaz Sharif. who was prime minister just before the dissolution of the National Assembly and the elections. So in a sense, that makes them feel far more comfortable with Shahbaz Sharif rather than with Nawaz Sharif. If Nawaz Sharif had actually managed to get a sweeping mandate, which they did not, they're only the largest party, now probably then it would have been difficult to stop him from becoming the prime minister the fourth time. But the results came out in such a way, while Imran Khan has demonstrated his popularity, he's not in a position, he won't be allowed to form a government. And I think they've also managed to put Nawaz Sharif in his place, keeping him there, but not quite there.
So with army in the driver's seat, do you see any forthcoming stability in Pakistan, especially in terms of political stability?
No, I think the army has a problem. I mean, because while they dislike Imran Khan, what do they do with his popularity? In fact, the hope was some of the cases against him on adultery, on misusing foreigners' gifts. These kind of cases, they thought they would delegitimize him in the public eye, but it has not. And Imran Khan is not someone who's going to simply step back. And unlike the previous leaders who did a deal and left the country. So the deal was offered, I believe, to Imran Khan, but he's standing up and fighting. So they have a problem of how to deal with him. And that problem is not going to be solved in the near term. So therefore, and that in turn casts a shadow over the new government. So there will be the whole questions of legitimacy. And the second problem is the economic situation, where the army wants the civilian government to do reforms that being suggested by the International Monetary Fund, but those reforms will be bitter and painful. So the kind of negative impact of that on the people could also feed into fresh support for Imran Khan, who's actually written to the IMF saying, "Don't give the money till you audit the fairness for the elections." So I think things are only going to get worse before they get better anytime soon.
So this brings me to my last question. Do you see any improvement in Pakistan's ties with India? And is India really hopeful with the new government in place?
Look, I think it's not in India's hands. I mean, I think India will be an interested observer, but quite clearly, the India policy was always dominated by the army. Though when Nawaz Sharif, when he was in power, he actively sought to improve relations with India throughout his last 3 terms. And his opponents in Pakistan accuse him of being soft on India. So the question is, well, Nawaz Sharif party, will it get enough, opportunity, freedom to engage with India? For example, given the economic situation, given the huge difficulties, it makes sense to resume trade links with India. But can the Pakistan government do it? Will the army agree to it? Given very much the prospect that the PTI will oppose any liberalization with India. So I think the way the domestic situation is configured, India is not the priority for them. As long as they can keep this stable, I suspect that's good enough. Second, I think they have the problem with Afghanistan, where the Taliban's return has created new complications for the Pakistan army, and the Afghan Taliban's support for the Pakistani Taliban is creating problems in the western frontier. Pakistan also has problems with Iran in the Balochistan area. So I think that the focus would be on managing the western frontier rather than rushing into a big new deal with India, because anything you do with India will elicit some opposition, and I think that'll be complicating. And then above all, the focus has to be on the economic issues, and there I think the emphasis would be on how to get the economy moving forward. So that's where it is. But on the optimistic side, I would say General Bajwa, who's current General Asim Munir's predecessor, he was open to engaging India. He negotiated a ceasefire. So you shouldn't rule out that a strong army chief in partnership with the civilian leader can make things happen with India. But I think India should not raise its hopes. It should wait to see how comfortable the new government is, and how it prioritizes its immediate steps. If Pakistan offers, an olive branch, I think India should be prepared to respect it, accept it, and try and move forward. So India is really in a reactive mode here, and it can't take the initiative at this point because given the uncertain dynamic. In any case, India too, we have the elections. So therefore, I would say nothing much will happen till the summer. I think then the possible new openings could emerge.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.